Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we are back in the shop, and today we will be working on the Corvette behind us. Yes, the car is in the air, and you will need to have a car in the air to do the project that we're going to do today. But we have a whole lot of stuff taken out and removed from the car from the previous projects that you've seen, so it's kind of why the car is torn apart. But what we're being installing today is a set of Morimoto fog lights. Now these are from a company called Vette Lights, as you guys can see in the box. And what they do is they've teamed up with Morimoto. You know, they make aftermarket lights, they make LEDs and stuff like that. And they've basically gone through and replaced almost every light in a C6 Corvette. I think the only thing they haven't done are the side marker lights, the front and rear. I think those are still stock. I don't think they have a setup for that. But I saw these on sale. They did a pre-sale back in November, so a couple months ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago. And, you know, I placed my pre-order, and I may be one of the first people to post a video about these on YouTube. I don't know. Like, I literally just got these yesterday. I'm going to assemble them here, and then we'll get them on the car. So this video will get posted next week as my regular Corvette upload. But like I was saying, I've already got the Vette Lights Morimoto C7 style headlights in the car. I'll have a link to that video up above, so you guys have already seen that. And I was like, well, you know, since they've already done the headlights, might as well do the fog lights too, because, you know, it's like kind of the last piece that's stock. And they do offer taillights, but, you know, they're kind of expensive, and they're not, it's just not something I think that needs to be changed on a Corvette. I mean, yes, you can. I may buy them at a later date, but I just, it's just not something that's ever really bothered me about on the car. So these replacement fog lights are actually going to be LED and replace the factory halogen setup that you have. Now, I bought a set of HID bulb, like a bulb swap kit, probably 8+ years ago. That's how long. I've had that car for 12 years, so probably 8 years ago I did a HID conversion in the fog lights. And I mean, honestly, for something that you don't use a lot, you turn them on, the HIDs take a real long time to warm up before they come up to operating temperature. So, you know, to match the LED headlights, I wanted to get LED fog lights, and they should all be in that same color spectrum as well. So let's go ahead and open up this kit. And as you guys will see in the box, you have the LED fog light outer housing, and then you're going to have the LED light itself. Now, what I think this is, I think Morimoto and Vette Lights just use an off-the-shelf Morimoto LED light. They kind of just made the bezel, you know, this adapter bezel, to fit the C6 Corvette. And I don't have a problem with that, you know. With companies mass-producing parts, it's not a bad thing to you know, cut costs and use the same light setup. So here's the LED sealed fog light that we're going to be replacing, and you basically literally just bolt it into the bezel, and then you bolt the bezel into the car. So there is a little assembly required with these, and this is what it looks like. All you have to do is put in 3 screws. So like I was saying, there's a little bit of assembly required. Basically, you take 3 Phillips head screws, make sure you get a Phillips head screwdriver, and you line up the bezel with the mounting tabs on the fog light itself. So you just put it in place, and then you screw in your 3 Phillips head screws. And there you go. All you do is put your 3 Phillips head screws into the bezel and screw the fog light to the bezel. And guys, be careful when you do this. This is just plastic, it's not metal or anything. So just get it hand tight and you should be good to go, because this isn't going to wiggle loose. And the last thing you're going to do is kind of untuck the wiring from the headlight bezel, fog light bezel, sorry. And you're going to take these rubber clips off. And basically it looks like so this is just going to be a MetroPack connector, and you're going to plug this into your fog light wire harness. But here's the thing you need to be careful about. These only go in one way, so it is possible to reverse these terminals. So basically, don't put it in the connector just yet. I think what we're gonna do is just mock up the fog light in place, plug it in, go turn it on and see if it turns on, and if it doesn't, reverse the terminals, put the plastic outer metric pack connector on, and then we'll final assemble everything. So now we have to go disassemble the car, and that's going to be taking the wheels off, taking the inner splash guards off and all that. Alright guys, we have the car in the air and we've got the wheel off. Y'all don't need to see that, it's pretty simple, but basically what we got to do is take off the 5 screws holding the fender liner here, the 3 push pins that are holding the fender liner here, and the 3 screws holding the fender liner on the bottom. Actually, there might be just 2. So these are all 7mm, and the very bottom one is a Torx T15. As you can see, the panel's almost falling off. Basically what we need to do is do exactly that. So make sure you get enough room to get it to rest against the rotor. Actually, you can make more room, but that's a whole nother issue. Alright, so here's the fog light with my HID ballast. I double-sided tape it to the top of the fog light. There's the wiring, and there's my pump and horns and all that stuff that's kind of jumbled down here. Now you're not going to be able to see the hardware that's down way inside the bumper, but basically what you're doing is there's 3 bolts on the very bottom of the fog light bracket. Take those out, they're all 7mm. Once you get those out, unplug the factory fog light and pull the assembly out. Alright, so we took those 3 screws out that we were telling you about, and your fog light assembly is simply just going to come out. Now the secret is there's these little tabs on top of the light. Looks like that one actually got broke. That's interesting. Huh. Anyway, yeah, so these retaining tabs that you push in, and it kind of holds the light, then you just screw the hardware through the bottom. And that's how your fog light attaches. And here's the Morimoto fog light we were telling you about, and that attachment simply is going to click into the bumper cover, 3 screws on the bottom, and you should be good to go. Alright guys, we have the fog light installed on the passenger side. Like I was saying, it's just those 3 screws on the bottom. Make sure you get those 2 mounting tabs up top. Then all you gotta do is basically take these pins and plug them into your harness and turn the fog lights on. It'll either work or it won't. And once you get the right pairing, the fog light will work. Then after you get the wires working, you gotta remove them from that pin over there and put them in this plastic weather pack connector. Alright guys, there you go. We have the pin fully connected. We've got the wiring all plugged up. And as you can see, this very bottom line here, that is actually the LED fog light. It's also matching the LED headlight that's above it. So here's what the driver's side looks like. You know, we've got the full assembly in. And over here on the passenger side, we've got the same thing. We got the assembly in and the LED's working. We kind of have this covered up. But as you can see, the parking strip, the headlight, and the fog light are all in the same color spectrum. And now we're going to show you a before and after. Alright, so here's actually the factory assembly, and this assembly is quite huge. Plus you got the HID ballast, the extra wiring. Then you've got this little adapter here. So this setup actually weighs quite a bit. So we're actually kind of doing a weight mod. Wasn't planning on doing that, but you know, we are taking a little bit of weight out of the front of the car, which is never a bad thing. I mean, this is probably approaching 5 pounds, and that LED setup is less than 1 pound. The first benefit to this swap is we are dropping a little bit of weight for those drag racing guys. I'm kind of one of those guys. so reducing a little bit of weight. And also the second benefit is we're going to be putting less strain on the electrical system for the car. And as you guys know, we've had a huge issue with power. You know, we've had to upgrade all the factory wiring for the battery, for the negative terminals, for the ground straps, everything. Heck, we've even upgraded the alternator. So this is just one more piece of that electrical puzzle, and the LEDs are going to be way more efficient than that HID ballast and all that stuff. Not that you're ever going to be using your fog lights drag racing, but, you know, hey, it's just one more thing that you're reducing electrical need on the whole car. So let's go ahead and show you what the fog lights look like with the car off. That way you can actually see what it looks like. And here's what the fog light assembly looks like without any power to it. I'm actually kind of glad that it's an all black housing because, you know, the factory headlights were blue colored, body colored. You know, these are black, and these are all now all black. And this one had a really big, bright chrome, you know, lens reflector behind it. As shown here, here's the factory driver's side fog light. And as you guys can see, the chrome reflectors just always stood out on the car, with this being all black and the LED reflector and all that stuff being inside the housing that you can't see it. So I really like how that is now fully blended in with this front end. Now I wish we could give you guys an outside shot, especially at night, of what this setup looks like, but unfortunately my car is super torn apart. If you guys look under the hood, we're obviously missing a upper manifold of something. It's over here sitting on the stool. And if you guys are new to the channel, because you guys might be, you know, searching for my fog light install, you know, these Morimoto lights, I'll have a link to that build series up above, so if you guys are interested, go check that out. So that's going to be it for today's video. Not a super long one, and this install was actually very easy. Like I was saying, take the fender liner off, take the wheel off, 3 screws for the fog light assembly, take that out, swap the pins, make your electrical connection, and test everything, and you're good to go. So we're going to put this passenger side back together, and we'll be done. So if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to check out that engine build series with the blower and all that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and you'll get way more videos on that series that's upcoming, and that'll be it. And if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you click all the links down below, and make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. That's where our merchandise store is. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.